Take a deep breath in and exhale. Close your eyes. Keep breathing deeply. See yourself going into a space that goes beyond the physical place you are at. It's a place where our souls are able to acknowledge each other, meet each other, nourish, celebrate, remember each other. Call this place magical, sacred, blessed, a special space. It is your space, this is your meditation, and it is about your life. Let it go, the attachment that you have to do something particular. The place that comes to your mind, that is the perfect one. Go ahead, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you see yourself in the presence of the entity that you value the most. God, the higher power, the Holy Spirit, the source, the universe, whatever it is perfect even in the perceived imperfections that others find about your beliefs, and even in your own perceived imperfections around your own beliefs. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, declare that it was a wise decision to step up into this meditation and got out of the trap of making more stuff, doing more things. Declare that by being here, your mind is getting more sharper and precise. Your spirit is getting stronger and your heart is getting more loving. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Declare that you are willing and able to make the most of this time and from your life. Declare that you are willing to receive your message for today with gratitude, because you are aware that whatever it is that shows up is coming all the way from the subconscious to the conscious, and for that you are willing to express gratitude. Take a deep breath in and exhale, declaring your total commitment to interview your message for today with curiosity as an ally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, declare that you are willing and able to let go the attachment to any specific way or form for the message. That you keep in mind that it could show up as a thought, memory, body sensation, particular emotion, and it's perfect, even in the perceived imperfection. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go any attachment to a particular message, particular thing that you believe you were promised and you perceive you haven't get yet. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, remember that the universe is infinite. Infinity rules. Infinity rules. Therefore, in a universe that is infinite, a delay in an option you believe automatically is a denial of that option. Is it possible that there are other options waiting for you to see them, waiting for you to claim them, and your attachment to a specific way or form is making you oblivious to the other options? Take a deep breath in and exhale. And declare that you honor your inner fire and you make promises you can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, observe which came first, the thought, the memory, body sensation, a particular emotion, any of that inspire you to jump in and say, yes, I honor my inner fire by making promises I can fulfill? Or are you stopped by the affirmation thinking, there's a trick on that? There have been moments that I have been promising things that I had no idea how I was going to be able to fulfill those promises, and I make it happen? Or is your focus in the promises that others made to you and they didn't keep it? Take a deep breath in and exhale everything that is overwhelming. Put it in front of you. Realize it's part of the message. Your emotions are your ally. It's pointing out those things that hurt. It's pointing at those things that you haven't comprehended yet, that you haven't learned, grow, and evolve from it yet. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. If that affirmation doesn't resonate with you, because you are saying, I make promises and then I work for how I will fulfill them, then you can say, I honor my inner fire and I seek find ways to fulfill my promises. What if right now you choose to ask yourself, which promises don't I keep? Which promises do you keep? Which promises you don't? Are you thinking, I always keep my promises? Or are you thinking, I never keep my promises? Whichever extreme of the pole, those are lies and are incomplete perceptions. Are judgments based on probably only one area of your life, but you are more than one area of your life. Vocational, physical, financial, familial, mental, social, spiritual. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I seek to find ways to fulfill my promises. See if there is something bothering you. See if you are thinking, you have no idea. I try to keep my promises, but fill the blank. What do you believe happens when you are trying to keep your promises? I fulfill my promises and fill the blank. What do you perceive happened to you when you fulfill your promises? Which label from that event, from that circumstance, did you place on yourself? Or did others place on yourself and you accepted? Is there any possibility that in any area of your life you believe you are too naive? And other promises, you believe them, and then fill the blank. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire. I seek to fulfill the promises I make. I seek to fulfill the promises I make. Look if there is any resentment towards someone, or is there any emotion towards someone that you perceive they didn't keep their promises. Is it possible that they forget? They forgot about the promise. They should have remembered. They were supposed to remember because fill the blank. Has it ever happened to you that you make a promise and you totally forgot about it until the day someone make you remember? And after you remember, did you willingly went to keep your promise or not? Have it ever happened to you that someone shows up to fulfill a promise that they made and that you totally forgot about it? That it blows your mind away because in some part of your pathway on life you give up. That won't happen. And you forget it for whatever reason. So, could that happen to others as well? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. How do you feel with this affirmation? Are you trying to only make promises that you can fulfill? Or are you giving yourself the opportunity to stretch a little bit more? Making promises and then looking to fulfill those promises. And do whatever it takes to fulfill them. How does that feel for you? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Look into the future. Which future are you looking at? Those limited by those moments that you were unable to fulfill promises that you actually wanted to fulfill? Those moments that you forgot your promises? Those moments that others forgot their promises they made to you. Take a deep breath in and exhale everything that could be overwhelming. Keep in mind, this meditation is about expanding your sphere of awareness, expanding your sphere of consciousness, raising, increasing, expanding your level of alertness, and by being here, you are already achieving that. Is it possible that you are focusing in the promises that others make to you and didn't fulfill, didn't feel, didn't keep? What about the promises that you have made to yourself and you didn't keep? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill every promise that I make. Look into the future. What if by you going after making promises and then do whatever it takes to fulfill them transform you into a whole new person? How will that look like for you? Look into your self-image as it is right now. Which labels are you willing to review? Is it possible that some of those labels got to go in order for that future version of yourself to unfold? What if right now you declare, I adjust my perspective about who I am, and I promise to become the masterpiece I am? See yourself aligning with your future self. I adjust my perspective about who I am. I unfold the masterpiece I am. I promise myself to unfold the masterpiece I am. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill the promises I make. Do you realize that innovation has happened thanks to some promises that people make that they have no clue how they were going to fulfill them? But they didn't stop until they were able to fulfill those promises. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. What if right now you review which promises have you made to yourself that are hurting you? Because is it possible you have made some promises to yourself that are hurting you, that it is time to stop them? It is possible that it is time to review and renew the promises you make to yourself to unleash a higher version of you. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Are you aware that in order for you to step up into new levels of service, profits, health, freedom, and greatness, in whichever way you value the most, your willingness to seek in which way you can fulfill those promises can transform your life and the life for others? What if right now you choose to promise yourself, from now on, I am going for outstanding. From right now, I adjust my perspective about who I am and what do I deserve. And I am going for outstanding. How does that look like for you? Which adjustment in your perspective aligning is a future where you promise to go for outstanding looks like for you? Take a deep breath in and let it go. Let it all go. Let it go. Let it all go. Is it possible that for someone to forget its promise is giving you the opportunity to grow stronger in an area, in a specific area of your life? What can you learn? How can you grow? How are you evolving from it? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I make promises I can fulfill. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Do you realize that when you seek to fulfill your promises, it's a way for you to go for outstanding? Which labels on you are you willing to review and substitute for others? Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Observe if you are resentful that others haven't kept their promises. Then look in all those moments that you haven't kept yours. Unintentionally or intentionally. Look for those moments that you totally forget, that then you later remember, I think I promised fill the blank, but I can't remember to whom. Or I think I promised to fill the blank this person, but I can't remember what was. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Look into the future. Which promises would you love to give yourself permission to make? Which promises would you love to explore? To have the boldness to make and then seek how you fulfill those promises. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, review how are you listening and speaking to people now. Is it possible that if you perceive someone doesn't keep their promises, you automatically close to their ideas and to the project? Even if it could be a good idea or a good project, whatever that means for you. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Is it possible that someone make to you a promise that they pretended to fulfill, but they become another person? Have you ever make a promise that you have the intention to fulfill and you evolve into a different person, and what used to be important for you is no longer important? What if you give others the grace that you give yourself when you find out you didn't keep your promises? And if you don't give yourself any grace, if you punish yourself when you realize you haven't kept your promises, what if right now you promise that you will love yourself unconditionally? I promise I love myself unconditionally. I promise I love myself unconditionally. Do you believe that is a license to mediocrity? Or that is the opportunity to give yourself a space to as a masterpiece in training? There will be moments that you will perceive you fell short, and it's okay. You are learning. Take a deep breath in and exhale. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. I honor my inner fire and I seek to fulfill my promises. Blessings.